Tracing the roots of one's ancestry, especially from a different country, can be a very fulfilling journey for many people, but when one's great-great-grandfather was a king, the journey seems to be even more special, as it also involves the history of a nation, or in this case, two. Thai-Norwegian Siri Kittiya Jensen, a niece of King Rama X and a great-great-granddaughter of King Chulalongkorn, also known as King Rama V, visited Norway for the first time in 2019 for a project to bring to life the king's trip to the Nordic country in 1907 as part of His Majesty's second European tour. The outcomes are a documentary and a photo exhibition in 2020, and most recently, the launch of a book on the journey titled 100 Years Between. I had an opportunity to interview Thai-Norwegian Siri Kittiya, who is a curator, a history graduate, and a photography enthusiast, about the book and her 11-day journey following her acceptance of an invitation to join the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Cultural Project.
Well, this project was quite interesting because it happened by chance. A lot of it started from Bangkok, where I wanted an idea of why he went. So I talked to a lot of historians. A lot of it was trying to keep the independence of Thailand when there was a threat of colonialism. He went for multiple reasons, including to test himself in terms of the climate and everything. So this is something I looked into, and when I went, I had that in mind, and looking into everything, trying to find these links in his letters, which was nature. We did follow every place that he did, but what I did differently wasn't changing the location, but the perspective, because I want people to see that in one location, multiple people can see different things.
Book features not only the photos Thai-Norwegian Siri Kittiya took herself, but also historical pictures, a collection of private letters the king wrote to his daughter Princess Nipa Nopadon about his journey, and the letters Thai-Norwegian wrote a century later. As much as the trip was personal to Thai-Norwegian, she also saw how it was personal to her royal ancestor.
And I think for a job to come out well, for a curatorial project, you need to feel that it's personal because it's something that you're creating. And it's also personal because I'm getting to know my great-great-grandfather. We never met because of the time that separates us. All the letters were me writing to my great-great-grandfather as though we were writing each other. In the letter, I talk about a hotel that he stood in front of, but didn't take a photo of. There's a photo of him standing in front of, like taking a photo from it. I took photos of it, and I said to him, very interested in the idea that history doesn't change, but that it's the exterior that evolves. It's something that he talked throughout on how grand it is, how almost frightening it is, how unpredictable it is.
At the launch, Thailand's Foreign Minister Don Pramatwinai brought to attention a portrait of the king's entourage in Norway, featured on Thailand's 100 baht note. I also had a chance to talk to the ambassador of Norway to Thailand, who took part in the launch, about what the project means to Thai-Norwegian relations and what the current key areas of cooperation are.
I think it's very important to keep this fascinating story and this history alive. It is an extremely important part of our relationship, and Norway is also a kingdom, of course, and the relationship between the two kingdoms, that it has been this strong all the way through since 1905. It's also a very good story to new generations, so they understand how important one person, a visionary person, can be. You know, it is still astonishing what he achieved and the ideas he brought back to Thailand, and how important those ideas still are.
With about 25,000 Thais living in Norway and 5,000 Norwegians in Thailand, the ambassador said the ties at the individual level are very strong.
Our successes these days, or I would have to say also pre-pandemic also, is our commercial relationship and the people-to-people relationship. Very many Norwegians come to Thailand to visit, but also to retire here. And even more Thais are living in Norway, so there is a strong connection and integrated families. On the commercial side, Thais demand a lot of Norwegian seafood, especially fresh salmon. During the pandemic, the numbers have gone up all the time. Also in the scientific field, we have had exchanges of experts coming to Thailand and also going to Norway.
Hatay Deshikit Reporting for Thai PBS World.